It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, we are at the next best thing to a Friday. But, John, you were saying you did a little walking down memory lane here lately. People ought to check you out on Facebook. You had a great series about this new car that you got. Well, old new car or whatever. But you said there was another story that kind of cropped out of the story.
Yeah, I wrote this anthology about from the time, when the dinosaurs died, until I went to Indiana and bought this car, And I mentioned a lot of people that had cars that were important in my childhood, important during my life, because, there's some of us that some people like to play golf, some people like to bass fish, some people play poker. We like cars.
There you go.
Me and my buddy Randy Stanley, we like cars. And I mentioned a good friend who since passed away a few years ago, Herschel Robinson, from up at Chittister. Now, Herschel, the schools in Chittister consolidated in the fall of '69. And Herschel was black. He was a lot older than me, but he graduated, I believe, in '71. But his sister, Miss Flowers, is teacher at Fairview School.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Miss Flowers is his older sister. But Herschel bought a brand new '72 Dodge Charger.
Nice.
The long ones,
Yeah.
Most of them came with 318s. He's had a 440 in it.
Woo.
And Herschel, at the time, during the course of 1973 and 1974, he done everything to it you could do to it.
I'm surprised that thing didn't just jump right out from under him when he romped.
It had big hood scoop on it, had everything that you could put under the hood. And he had highway gears in it, low gears, high-speed gears to go fast. And Herschel was out there when the CB craze hit.
There they go.
And Herschel was the snake doctor. Never forget that. He was the snake doctor.
Snake doctor.
But he had a...
How in the world do you get a handle like that?
He had a home bass unit in the car with the microphone that you pushed him.
Yeah, you push the big pedal-looking thing.
And I don't know, there's a lot of stories about where he went to get all that done and all that. But anyway, in Chittister, we didn't see color. And now in later years, his dad, Mr. Lunt Robinson, opened the liquor store up there before you get to Bragg Lake.
Right.
But before that, the only liquor store in the country was Gully's, the other side of Chittister. And, there was a lot of nights, especially on Saturday night when, you couldn't get anything on Sunday. We'd all be gathered up around Chittister. Well, everybody would decide, what they needed for Sunday. And you'd go to the liquor store, And I can't begin to tell you how many times it would be Herschel and it'd be different people. Sometimes it'd be Nelson Holloman. Sometimes it'd be Don Williams, different ones. And he'd come through, he'd stop, we'd all sit on the sidewalk. We drank out of the same wine bottles. We toked on the same little cigarettes,
Gotcha.
Everything. And it'd be time to go to Gully's before they closed, and Herschel would say, come on, y'all go with me. And, I rode in that car a lot of times. But, a lot of times I wouldn't go, but one night, Randy and I got in the back seat. Him and Nelson Holloman was in the front seat. And I don't think to this day, ever been so fast in my life.
Wow.
But the story about Herschel, the great story about Herschel, about 1975, there used to be an old store building there at the corner of Mall Road and Highway 24. It's gone now. Andrews' old grocery store. It's old station, Andrews Station.
Gotcha.
We had a pretty famous state trooper here at the time named John Bishop. And John Bishop was sitting beside that store one night, and Herschel had a little antenna on the back with a pretty good spring on it. And John Bishop said in court, the only thing he saw was the black streak and the little antenna on the back bent all the way down. And Herschel apparently never knew he was back there. But he went home, got home, pulled around beside the house where he always parked the car, went in and got in the bed before John Bishop got to his house.
Before he called up.
And, of course, Herschel's daddy, Mr. Lunt Robinson, later became a deputy for Robert Earl Garner. But anyway, that was a pretty famous story about Herschel. But, we live in the South here, and, you see all these stories and you read all these things about the old days. And, you know, I'm proud to say we didn't see color in Chittister.
Well, there you go.
Some of the dearest friends I got on the face of this earth are black, African-Americans. I graduated school with them. I grew up with them. Herschel Robinson was one of those people that would have gave me the last dollar in his pocket. He has took me home I no less than a half a dozen times in the middle of the night, sitting out in Chittister in no shape to walk,
right,
and needing a way home. And Herschel took me home no less than a half a dozen times. But a great guy, a beautiful car, and I don't think, from what Miss Flyers told me one time, only one picture of it exists. And I would love to have a picture of it to put on Facebook, but it was a pretty famous car around here about 45 years ago.
All right, that's going to wrap up Remember When with Uncle John here for today. But we do want to thank Sherwin-Williams House Paint, 315 Jefferson Street, for being one of our wonderful sponsors, 836-8125. They can help you out with any of your home painting needs.
And we got ProMed Ambulance, 1-800-634-0436. Give them a call. Get signed up on their priority membership ambulance care package.
Don't forget to go check out Prescott Raceway this weekend. Races going on each and every Saturday night. PrescottRaceway.net. Be sure and keep an eye on them on Facebook in case they have to change the schedule for rain or anything like that. Holler at them down at the Napa store in Magnolia. Jackie Lewis will be happy to put you in the right direction. 234-2184 or 904-5952.
And we got Shopper's Guide. If you need some stationery, if you need some business cards, call down there and talk to JJ, and he'll hook you up.
Hey, but don't forget now, if you forgot or missed one of our morning shows here in the morning on the radio, you can always check us out. Check out our podcast on iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, all those kind of great stuff, and find us on YouTube and on Facebook on YesRadioWorks.com. We'll see you tomorrow, John.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.